In a sense, math is its own language. It's important to acquire that language in order to be able to better understand the concepts of mathematics. This brief presentation will explore the definition of vocabulary that will be very helpful to you as you continue your studies. First, operation. An operation is an action performed on numbers and or variables. Let's look at the 4 basic operations in mathematics. The first is addition. When we add 2 or more numbers together, the result we get is called a sum. The numbers that we're adding we call addends. And we discovered in our discussion this week that the word we use to represent numbers we're adding is the same no matter what the numbers are. And we made the interesting discovery that the reason for this is that addition is commutative. It does not matter in which order we add a set of numbers. So, for example, 11 plus 4 will give us the same sum as 4 plus 11. The second basic operation is subtraction. Subtraction results in a difference. Subtraction, unlike addition, is not commutative, and therefore we do need different words to represent the numbers we're subtracting. The number we're subtracting from is called the minuend, and the amount that we're subtracting from the minuend is the subtrahend. So in other words, 7 minus 4 is 3. In this example, 7 is the minuend, 4 is the subtrahend, and 3 is the difference. Multiplication and division. Multiplication is the third basic operation. And when we multiply two numbers, which we call factors, the result is a product. Again, multiplication, like addition, is commutative. It does not matter in which order we multiply. So 4 times 3 is 12, as well as 3 times 4 is 12. Notice the different symbols we have for multiplication. We can use a small x. We can use a dot in the middle of the two numbers. Don't confuse it with a decimal point. And we can use parentheses. We don't often use the x, especially once we begin doing algebra, because x will be a letter that we'll be using to represent a variable, and we don't want to confuse the variable with the multiplication symbol. Division results in a quotient. The number we're dividing is called the dividend. The number we're dividing by is the divisor, and the answer is known as the quotient. Like subtraction, division is not commutative, therefore we do need different names to represent the numbers that we're working with. There are 3 ways we can show division. One is with the traditional division symbol. One is with the little symbol here that allows us to do long division. And another one is a fraction bar. What does the equal sign represent? Basically, this symbol represents balance. It means that whatever we have on one side, on the left side of the equal symbol, must be the same as what's on the right in order for the equality to hold. So it shows equality. Notice in this example, 1 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 1, since both are equal to 4, and therefore this is a true equality. Likewise, 4 times 5 is equal to 20. One of the important things to remember about equality is that we do not want to upset the balance if we want things to remain equal. And therefore, if we start with an equality, we have to make sure that if we change something on the left side, for example, if I add another 2 here, I must make sure to do the same exact operation to the right side if I want to maintain the equality. So 2 plus 1 plus 3 would be equal to 6, and 3 plus 1 plus 2 is also equal to 6. Because I added 2 to each side of the equality, it remains balanced. Two other important words in our language of mathematics are expression and equation. An expression is simply any combination of numbers, variables, and symbols. And these are examples. 45, any number by itself, can be considered an expression. This expression contains one variable and one constant, or one number, separated by an addition symbol. We say that this expression has two terms. Yet another important vocabulary word. Terms are separated by addition or subtraction. The next expression has two terms also, but one of the terms contains two of its own terms because it is in parentheses. We'll learn more about the order of operations agreement that will help us to evaluate such an expression. And our third example is simply one term. It does include two constant numbers which are being multiplied together, but since there is no subtraction or addition symbol, it is considered one term. Moving on to equation. It is important not to confuse expressions and equations. A sentence which shows equality of two expressions would be called an equation. So the easiest way to remember is that the equation must have an equal sign. If we were just going to look at the left side of this equation, the 5 times 6, that is in one expression. The 30 is another expression. But because they contain the equality sign and they show equality, the whole thing together is called an equation. So we have other more examples. So the only difference really between expression and equation is that the equation has to have two sides that are separated by an equal sign. You have now begun to acquire the language of mathematics. We will explore additional vocabulary and language in future videos. Thank you.